So one can have something like this, a self-care to-do list. No? You can make an artwork out of it, no? And put it in a corner where you can see it every day, morning and at night. And you can also renew it. It can also be an electronic list, right? Now let's move on to the second one. We're closing to the end. I will extend this webinar perhaps 5 more minutes if it's okay, just to cover a few things, and we'll have some Q&A after that. I'd be very glad to answer your Q&A. And again, I'm always open for even for a short, say, meeting over Google Meet if you want to discuss things further uh, regarding self-care. We can always discuss it as a small group, as a small circle that would be useful for everyone. But I think it's always good to have a plan when it comes to enhancing, boosting our own personal health, covering those 4 domains: spiritual, physical, emotional, and mental. And of course, we know that all of them are interrelated. They're part of the same web. So emotional self-care. So when we look at emotions, we often associate it with what? Feelings. When they're low intensity, emotions are feelings. When they're high intensity emotions, they're passions. Caring for your emotions and overall well-being, that's part of emotional self-care. Creating healthy psychological boundaries, knowing our limits, no? Mindful of the present moment, and then the custody of the heart and the senses. So many times the things that we keep in our heart can spell the quality of our emotions. The things that we see can also determine the quality of feelings that we may have. So here are some tips. Nurture emotional intelligence. It's something which is a topic in management, topic in HR. So emotional intelligence is, basically being sensitive to to other people, considering their feelings at the same time, guarding our feelings as well, not allowing our feelings, especially the negative ones, to affect, to degrade the quality of our relationships. Then capture happy family moments in video. Okay, those of you, well, all of us have our mobile phones, right, with cameras. It's good to capture family moments, happy family moments in video, which we can watch over and over again, especially during those times when you want to lift your mood. Then catch yourself when trapped in useless worries. So we have to find a way to worry less. Of course, sometimes worrying can give people pleasure, but it's also bad for one's mental and physical health. Use your self-care vision board. The self-care vision board we saw earlier. If you have one, you look at it every now and then. It can help you perk up your emotion. Then keep a gratitude journal. I have a gratitude journal. I don't use it every day, but I have a list which I look at every now and then to just remind me what are the things that I have to be grateful about. Makes me happier. Take regular breaks uh, from social media. So that's from social media, not for social media. Exercise the 4-7-8 breathing technique that I mentioned earlier. 4 seconds inhale, 7 seconds hold, 8 seconds exhale. It will work. It will help you. Then find a good coach or a mentor. If you still don't have one, find one. And then what else? Okay, stay in touch with friends. Okay, so there's a list. It's a list added to our emotional self-care. So let me go over them one by one. So stay in touch with friends. But by social media, we can do that. If we have an ongoing Facebook group, we can always get in touch with them. Then join a wholesome support group. Read some motivational article. We find a number of them in social media. Try laughter yoga exercises. I don't know if you've seen some of these yoga exercises, these laughter yoga exercises. Since laughter is the best medicine, as mentioned in the past, well, it's always something that we can try. And it's here in these laughter yoga exercises that it's the deliberate purpose to make us laugh more, even if we're very serious people. Then smile at yourself in the mirror. Okay, how often do we smile at ourselves? Now, how many times have we smiled during this day? During this day, write a gratitude note or text message to someone. You can always do that every day. Watch an inspiring video, recall a happy memory with the family and friends, listen to feel good music, which readily lifts our emotions, using aromatic essential oils to uplift, energize, or relax our mood. This is useful for a number of people. Drink water or calming tea. Chamomile tea, for instance, is wonderful. When I was in Spain, I was studying there in Spain. Usually, the chamomile tea they would only give it to the sick people. But one of the effects of chamomile tea is, to calm someone and at the same time to help someone sleep better. So chamomile tea. Then find a corner for some minutes of quiet time. Okay, so when you find yourself just too stressed, just find some quiet time somewhere, just perhaps doing nothing, just relaxing in a quiet corner. And if you want, listen to music or start praying, etc. So that's our emotional self-care. Number of tips can always include those that are not here. But again, going back to the framework which I mentioned earlier, what are the things that we have to stop when it comes to our emotional self-care, especially stop worrying too much? What are the things that we have to continue doing? What are the things that we have to start doing? Okay, simple life self-care. Again, I can have a poster like this or a list like this. Okay, look at something nice. Reminder for you to look at something nice. Have a photo or a picture. Smell something nice. Feel something nice. Taste something nice. Listen to something nice. So this is engaging all the senses, the five senses, to help us feel emotionally better. And then lastly, looking at mental self-care, which is also super important, as we know. So how's your mental health right now? If you were to rate yourself from 0, the lowest, to 10, how's your mental health? And it's something which we don't usually do, but it's also good. Okay, am I there or am I still, am I worried with a lot of things? Do I spend a lot of time worrying? And is my score below 5 because I worry most of my day? And consequently, my health gets affected. So mental self-care is nurturing and managing your mental state. It's keeping the mind healthy and happy, right? Doing some mental floss, mental cleaning. We do the dental floss, right? Sometimes it's also good to see, okay, what's that habit that I have, or what's that thought that continues to haunt me, or what's that image that continues to make me suffer every time I recall it, etc. So we may have to apply some mental floss. Then focusing your mind on what truly matters. That's why our anchors are important. The vision board, the purpose of our life, what we're doing things for, etc. So here are some strategies. Start every day with positive affirmations. It's great to be alive. In a previous gratitude seminar which I had, this was face to face, meaning in-house, just before the MECQ. The most common thing people are most grateful about is the fact that they are still alive. Indeed, no? Be able to attend that workshop in-house. No? And practice positive self-talk. Foster an optimistic voice in your head. Positive self-talk is like talking to yourself, but focusing on the positive rather than blaming ourselves of the past that is already gone or being super negative about a future which may not even come. So that's also the focus of mindfulness, being in the present, living in the present. List down 3 things that you're most grateful about morning and night. So this is always a recommended exercise in clinical psychology as well as an intervention which I would propose to people, especially who want to enhance their motivation or their level of satisfaction and happiness. Gratitude list. Then identify five positive things you see around you. So when we get worried, it may be good to stop, to look and listen. What are those positive things around me? Enjoy good humor. Humor is always good. It's good medicine as well, besides laughter, right? Limit your worry time. So for some of us, we may worry for days, we may worry for, but again, it's just, circular thing. So we may give ourselves a limit, okay? Worrying only for 1 minute. And after that, that's gone. Or when we catch ourselves worrying, let's limit it to a few seconds. Okay, but let's give ourselves that metric, okay, that limit. And being aware of negative language. Negative language, we have to catch ourselves. It's like, when a kid starts doing something like picking his nose, or the mother or father tells him, okay, not to do that. So we have to catch ourselves with our negative language, and stop doing it and substitute it with some positive language. Then think about helping others in meaningful ways, right? And a few more things. Well, I'm beyond 10:30. It's already 10:35. With your indulgence, please allow me to continue. Practice forgiveness. And then let someone know you're sorry. Okay, when was the last time we forgive someone? When was the last time we said sorry? It's difficult to do in many cases. Perhaps there are some things which are difficult to let go of, but others have had experiences of forgiving even those people whom they couldn't imagine they could forgive in their lifetime. Avoid toxic relationships. And we can also avoid being the cause of a toxic relationship. That's what is in our control. Then explore a new hobby and be creative. So what can I start doing as a hobby? What can I start learning? I know for some people, using the internet, the computer, or the mobile phone, or using the Zoom, etc., is something difficult to do. No? Perhaps it's time to ask for help, or those of you who are younger, you can offer your help. Reflect on what makes you special. So why are you special? I'd like to see that in the chat box. You may be ashamed to say so, but well, it's good to ask ourselves, what are we special? Of course, in the eyes of parents, children are always special. Call a friend. So whom can we call right now? And it won't be a surprise, but perhaps you'll be surprised that they will always be super grateful. Look for a suitable mentor or coach, something which I mentioned earlier. Laugh more. Don't take yourself seriously. That's an advice we have heard time and again in the past. Don't take yourself seriously. Recall good childhood memories. Okay, childhood memories: flying a kite, playing this nursery game, playing this and that. Recall childhood memories. Good for our mind. Complain less today. So that's one good resolution for every day. I will complain less. Surely, if we detach ourselves from social media today, we will complain less. Write, write your future self an encouraging letter dated December 31, 2020. If you want, if you have time, and if you feel doing so, write your future self an encouraging letter. And you can seal it and then read it by the end of the year. Then practice mental hygiene. Vet the quality of social media that you use. So we don't have to see anything that can be a source of worry, source of evil, source of pain. We can always avoid them. And lastly, evaluate each day and resolve to live a better tomorrow. Something like an examination of conscience or a self-assessment at the end of the day would help us assess how has been our self-care like, right? So again, going back to these personal decisions, we have to look at what we have to stop doing, what we have to start doing, what we have to continue doing in our self-care plan. So just the last few things. Well, your self-care plan, as proposed by this social work tech, as they propose this template, so you can focus on, okay, three areas: mind, body, spirit, and then drawing concrete strategies or tactics or resolutions from those lists we have in those four areas: spiritual, physical, emotional, and mental. You can fill in the blanks, right? What are the things that will help you improve the state of your mind, the state of your body, the state of your spirit or your soul? Then supportive people in your life, and then the things that you want to accomplish. So let's take a look at a sample that has been accomplished by the one who crafted this template, Ignacio Pacheco. So from his page, he has this following: in regard to things that will improve the state of mind, meditate, take lots of breaks, lifelong learning, fun, music. So you can have something like this. In fact, this can serve as your vision board. Then with regard to the body, tea, exercise, nourishing food, sleep 8 hours, everything in moderation. So when you have something like this, you look at it and you see it every day. It's a good reminder. You don't even have to invent resolutions. They're already here because you have thought about them. Then with regard to the spirit, meditate, human connections, fulfillment through using my awesome skills, and then self-reflection. And then here in the left side, bottom left corner, you will find supportive people in my life. So you identify your support group. Some of them could be family members, some of them could be your mentors, your coach. And then at the bottom right, the things that I want to accomplish. What in the end, why do you want all these things? Peace, serenity, control, happiness, good work, be a good person, which could be the deeper purpose you may have in your life. So you see, it is something that we can have, and once you have this, you can post it in a place where you can see it every day, or take a photo of it, put it in your wallet, or you have it in your mobile phone as as um, as a page. And then some people may also have this 30-day at home self-care or 30 days of self-care. So these are just examples which you will have because I'll be giving you this PowerPoint material. Then there are other steps that you can consider when it comes to self-care from different sources. Many of them already mentioned in our list, in our checklist of the SPEM, those 4 domains. You may have your own 12 steps to follow. Again, another way of coming up with a more complete, workable self-care plan. But let me end with the following: importance of what? Being humble. Be humble enough to ask for help. So even though we're talking about self-care, we know that we cannot do it all alone. So we simply have to be humble to ask for help because we flourish by association, not by isolation. We flourish, we develop by association, not by isolation. So thank you. Thank you very much. So that's the end of my presentation.